So, Jamie, I've seen aerators around. I've seen them used, but I don't really know anything about it. What's up with them?
Well, this is actually one of the most common questions we get about wine. People have strong opinions on them. I'm no different. But it's a complex topic. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's the cornerstone of one of these little toys. And so the trick is to know, you have to know a little bit about the wine you're going to enjoy. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it going to benefit from an aerator? Is it kind of whitewashing? I tell people all the time that everything in winemaking comes down to oxygen. It's designed to either keep oxygen out or introduce oxygen. Now, some white wines, like Sauvignon Blancs, don't need any oxygen. So something like an aerator, as wonderful a tool as it can be, will completely destroy the wine. But you're saying, well, that's white wine. Doesn't count. These are for reds. Let's go through those. And again, it goes back to oxygen. When you're aging a wine, oxygen in the bottle is slowly going to bring those compounds. Oxygen is the adhesive. It's the glue that makes tannins a little softer. It makes flavors come out. It goes from what we call primary fruits, like apples and raspberries and strawberries, to secondary characters like petrol, like forest floor, like an earthiness. And the truth is, if you're a fan of fruity red wines, an aerator is not going to make the wines more fruity. But if you're a fan of more delicate wines, more nuanced wines, if you like a wine with some body or some structure, an aerator is going to bring it to that point where it's just a little more enjoyable. So I'm going to pour two examples to show you. One of which is a wine that will definitely not benefit from an aerator, and the other one is a wine that may benefit from an aerator. So first, I'm going to pour the base wine.
Is this anything like decanting, like quickly?
Absolutely.
Sometimes I see these things as oh, my friends are arriving now. I should have put that wine open 2 hours ago, and I forgot
to. A tool for not being prepared.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is an emergency.
It can definitely be a tool for not being prepared. Or, I guess it's two ends of a spectrum because I've never really thought about this before. But it can be a tool for not being prepared and getting your wine ready sooner. Or if you use it really properly, it can be a tool you use several hours before your guests arrive and say, okay, hey, I'm going to try aerating this, and if it works, then I know that I can pour it into a decanter, like a glass decanter, which will do the same process slower. Or I can just simply open the bottle and leave it on the dining room table, which is that same process, slower. If you think of one of these as a remote control to get your wine to the exciting parts, this is fast forward times 4. Simply popping the cork and pouring it into a decanter, maybe fast forward times 2. Opening the bottle and just letting it sit on your counter is fast forward times 1, and leaving the bottle sealed is half speed, or that frame by frame aging. So the trick is you have to know when the commercials are going to end and it gets to the exciting part. So this is where a little bit of wine knowledge helps. So I'm pouring a wine that, in my opinion, wouldn't actually benefit from an aeration. It's a Baco Noir. It's 2013. Bacos are great wines. They're everyday food wines, but they're not wines that generally get better 4, 5, 7, 10 years out. So I poured a base sample, and then I'm pouring one of these samples through this aerator. Okay. Now, let me try the one. Give it a little nose. It's all communal. Is there a difference? Yes. Is the difference absolutely profound? Not enough to actually hit fast forward. It's not for me.
I don't see much of a difference.
Not at all. And with most wines that are ready to drink now, i.e. most wines that consumers purchase on a daily basis, they're not meant to age. So something like this, it's a nice little trick. Now, where an aerator is exciting, one of the reasons I own one, is for wines that aren't necessarily ready to drink now or do have an aging potential. So the first wine I'm going to pour, something a little more prone to aging, the 2012 Merlot. Now, most Merlots that you're going to ever encounter in a liquor store are ready to drink now. I made this one from a really good vintage, really high quality grapes. Took my time, spent over 2 years in the cellar before it was released. And I released it a little too early. This is the wine where I do tell people in the store, if you have an aerator, use it. If you don't have an aerator, decant it, pop the glass, come back to the bottle a couple days after you've opened it. It's going to reward itself with time. So I'm going to pour wine that I just opened not even 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
There's the base wine. And then I'm going to pour the exact same wine through the aerator.
I don't get as much in the nose, but
Yep.
definitely on the tongue.
And that's one of the things that often fools people with an aerator. I completely agree with what you're saying. You taste these two wines now. If I mix them around, covered your eyes, you would not necessarily be able to tell on the nose, and that's indicative. But oxygen, like I said, is an adhesive. It's a glue. It brings things together. And so in this wine, the wine we just popped, the acids are still there. It's still a little crispy. It puckers the sides of your lips. The tannins are still a little rough around the edges. It dries your mouth out a little bit. Now, without affecting the flavor in any way possible, you put it through that aerator, you hit fast forward just enough that acidity starts to take a back step. The fruit comes through on the palate, not necessarily in the nose, but on the palate. And that oxygen has glued those tannins together. They've become a little more evolved, and the wine becomes softer, becomes smoother. It doesn't ramp up the body, it just kind of makes things a little more integrated, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So in the end, the question comes back to, do they work? Yes, they do. But you have to know a little bit about what you're going to enjoy in order to get the most out of it.
Nice. It's good. I guess now I know a little more about aerators. Mark, you're always on the wrong side of the camera. You gotta get in here and try this stuff.